Now, though, I want to bring in Elias Farhat. You're a former Lebanese army general. There have been developments on the border between Israel and Lebanon. You're joining us live from Beirut. This is the other front that we're looking at today. There are multiple fronts, but this is one of them. And we got pictures just a moment ago of the border area between Israel and Lebanon, and a large chunk of it was on fire after what appears to have been some kind of attack. Maybe start by putting that in context for us. That area, why that is a flashpoint.
Actually, this fire is not a result of a fighting. The fighting has been occurred when a few groups from Jihad Al-Islami infiltrated near the village of Jazeera in South Lebanon, which is adjacent to the Lebanese-Israeli borders, and they clashed with an Israeli patrol. They, 7 Israelis were being hit, and it's not known exactly how many from the Al-Jihad Islamic group were dead or went away. So now this fire has been occurred after this clash, but I don't think that both sides used the lance flames or something like this in order to cause this flare. These scenes are from the Israeli side and not from the Lebanese side, you see. So there is no battles or conflicts or clashes in the size of causing such fire.
Elias, earlier today, the Islamic Jihad, a short while ago, in fact, the Islamic Jihad claimed responsibility for some infiltration attempt from Lebanon into Israel. Israel responded by killing the people who tried to infiltrate, who tried to get into Israel from what was apparently the Islamic Jihad group. How significant of a development is that for you?
Yes, this is in the terms of warning of Hezbollah and its allies, the Islamic Jihad and Hamas, that the northern front is ready to intervene if Israel escalated in Gaza, and if the ground offensive will take place into Gaza. That means that the northern front will start. And Israel will be in a danger of fighting on both fronts, which is difficult for such an army. The maneuver on the front. On the homeland front of Israel is narrow, so the maneuver of forces, moving forces from north to south or from south to north, and supports from here to there is difficult in Israel. So many drills the Homeland Command had done recently, and it proved that it's difficult for any maneuvers. So I don't think that Israel can fight on both fronts, in north and south.
All right. Elias Farhat joining us from Lebanon. Thank you very much. I want to turn to Ali Hashem. Ali, you're joining us live from southern Lebanon, where we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened. So what is the latest information that you have?
Well, let's start with Hezbollah announcing that 3 of its fighters were killed today in Israeli airstrikes. And this is very significant because we know that whenever Hezbollah's fighters are killed, Hezbollah vows to revenge for them. And this means tomorrow, or maybe tonight, midnight, in the coming hours, there might be a retaliation from Hezbollah. And this is going to take things more towards tension and escalation. The situation over here in southern Lebanon has been escalating gradually. Tension is escalating gradually. The situation of war and peace isn't anymore, no war, no peace isn't anymore here. And people are kind of concerned that Lebanon is being taken gradually into this conflict. We saw earlier today, a group from the Islamic Jihad infiltrating the borders, and crossing towards an Israeli settlement where they engaged in a battle with the Israeli army. Two of the Palestinian fighters were killed. One of them was able to come back to Lebanon. Following this attack or this infiltration, Israeli army started raiding several Lebanese cities. There were several airstrikes on Lebanese towns on the borders. The town of Yarin, the town of Dhera, the town of Aita Sha'ab. And among what they hit were Hezbollah observatory posts. And as I just said, Hezbollah now announced that 3 of its fighters were killed. So this is the picture from South Lebanon. Now also in parallel, the Israelis were hitting some open spaces, some agricultural lands, and now there are pictures coming from the area there, especially from the Israeli side of the border, of huge fires taking place there. And this is aimed mainly on preventing fighters from using the grass, the trees, the agricultural lands to infiltrate into the Israeli territories.
All right, so this is kind of, what's the best word for it? Some kind of preparatory, for lack of a better word, maneuver or defensive maneuver by Israel is what you're saying. You explained very clearly to us just a moment ago that with 3 Hezbollah fighters having been killed, there is potential here for an escalation. Now, until we found out that 3 Hezbollah fighters were killed, it appeared that the messaging between Israel and Hezbollah was, let's actually not escalate this too far. When you look at what Hezbollah hit, when you look at what Israel's retaliation, I'm talking about events yesterday, it appeared that both sides wanted to keep this relatively contained. And if I understand what you're telling us, this may now escalate.
Well, things go out of control, and this is what's happening right now. Yesterday, Hezbollah attacked a post in Shebaa Farms, and they chose the Shebaa Farms because it's a land that's claimed by the Lebanese government as Lebanese land, and Hezbollah says that it has the mandate from the Lebanese government to fight there. Actually, it's disputed even in international law. So Hezbollah chose that land in order not to escalate the situation, however, to send signals and messages. And they said that clearly on one of the main officials, senior officials, Hashem Safieddin, spoke that clearly on TV. He said this is a message and Israel should understand the message. However, things are escalating, and today with all these events and the killing of 3 Hezbollah members, it seems things are going out of control gradually. The same as we are seeing the tension escalating gradually, things are going out of control gradually. And this is driving the Lebanese front step by step into this conflict and giving this conflict a new dimension, because it's not anymore contained within this Gaza-Israel confrontation. However, it's now taking a kind of a semi-regional status, and this is the dangerous thing here.
No, absolutely. Al Jazeera's Ali Hashem, thank you very much for that reporting. I want to draw our viewers' attention to one more time to the scene in southern Lebanon, northern Israel, that big fire that we saw, and Ali was explaining that's a defensive military maneuver by Israel to deny any potential cover for armed groups operating in that part of Lebanon. This here, burning, Ali was explaining, burning the grass, burning the trees so that that area can't be used as cover.